Today's sponsor is BT Miners. BT Miners has been a longtime sponsor of the channel and a proven reliable source for ASIC miners. If you are looking to purchase ASICs hardware from Bitcoin to Dogecoin miners, they are available for purchase on bt-miners.com. BT Miners has recently launched an app on iOS and Android that lets you browse their inventory by profitability and return on investment. Follow the affiliate link in the description and use promo code SOAT for a discount. Is it really up only for Bitcoin? And obviously this is the question that everybody has. If you've gone over my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com, you might be looking at this cycle and going, hold on, wait a second, things are not playing out exactly like they used to. And that may be true, but remember, history doesn't necessarily repeat, it just kind of mirrors. And let's go ahead and look at this particular article and see what they think. So, it's that time again when your friends and family members, they're setting the narrative up, right? You're into Bitcoin, you go to your Christmas parties, everybody's like, oh, how's Bitcoin doing? Last year didn't feel too good, now did it? You went there and they're like, oh, you're not doing too good with that Bitcoin, are you? This year, you know, maybe it's starting to change. We're starting to see normal people get interested again, as, you know, we're completely expecting it. I mean, if you've been doing this for a couple cycles, you're fully aware of the fact that you're going to have a bad down year and then 3 up only years, more than likely, right? And it's just a constant up and down. And that is the same with everything in life. It's just a little bit more accelerated with cryptocurrency, which is kind of funny. So it goes, the truth is, if you're thinking about buying Bitcoin right now, the opinion says it might not be the best time to make a sizable purchase, despite the fact that we might see spot Bitcoin ETFs approved in the near future. And it goes on to say why. Let's start by looking at Bitcoin's price action during periods leading up to the last 2 Bitcoin halvings. This next is due in late April when block 840,000 is expected to be mined. Bitcoin halving cycles last for about 4 years, 210,000 blocks, and produced at approximately 10 minutes per block. At the commencement of each cycle, the block subsidy reward that Bitcoin miners receive is cut in half, which triggers a Bitcoin supply shock. Historically, Bitcoin's price has risen dramatically during the year and a half that follows the halving. The price then tanks and trades in a range for the cycle's other 2.5 years. From late 2013 until mid-2016, when the second halving occurred, Bitcoin's price fell from $1,166 to $156. It then rebounded to $780, 67% of its previous all-time high, before falling 40% to $472 in August of 2016. The 472 price point marked a local bottom just 1 month after the second halving took place. From late 2017 to 2018, Bitcoin's price fell from $19,666 to $3,150 before rebounding to $13,882, 70% of the previous all-time high. By March 2020, its price had fallen 72% to $3,867. $3,867 marked a local bottom for 2 months before the third Bitcoin halving, which occurred in May of 2020. Another 2.5-year period that precedes a Bitcoin halving is coming to an end. This period began in late 2021 and will end in April of 2024 when the fourth halving is scheduled to occur. During this period, thus far, Bitcoin's price has fallen from $69,000 to $15,522 before rebounding to $44,759, 65% of the previous all-time high. This 65% rebound, the current one, is awfully close to the 67 and 70% rebound we saw in the 2 previous cycles. And so the big question now is, will Bitcoin's price retrace significantly leading up to the next halving as it has leading up to the other 2 previous halvings? If Bitcoin's price were to fall 40% from these current levels, as it did in 2015 and 2016, we'd see Bitcoin's price at $26,855. As of writing, it's approaching $44,000. If it were to fall for 72%, as in 2019 to 2020, we'd see Bitcoin's price at $12,532. I've seen very few people mention such numbers in the wake of euphoria Bitcoin investors are currently experiencing. So, will this time be different? Aren't we waiting for billions of dollars to flow into Bitcoin almost immediately after the spot Bitcoin ETF is approved? Maybe. So if we look at it from that perspective, right, and we take into account the cycles, how they affect it, and a repeated pattern within Bitcoin, then you could say it's fully expected for Bitcoin to retrace back down under the $30,000 mark before we hit the halving in April of 2024. And once that halving hits, if we continue the same cycle as always, we will see an up only for about a year and a half going on after that, with a really big euphoria phase, about 6 months after the halving, which would happen sometime in October of 2024, with peaking starting, going into the new year of 2025, which I've talked about into exhaustion on this channel. But we do have this pending situation with Bitcoin spot ETFs and more people that have been around for enough cycles to understand this. And this is where we start to get the question of, will people actually be selling off Bitcoin like they have in these previous periods right before the halving, or will they be expecting this and keep the price levels higher because they won't be selling off from the fear that happens because of the price going down? And I think that a lot more people are educated that are participating within cryptocurrency, that it may affect the way this cycle plays out. Not to mention another thing that is a huge factor when we start talking about the halving cycle with Bitcoin is the amount of fees compared to the block reward. And as most have postured in the past, once we get to the point of fees, meaning the block reward, what we will end up seeing is a settling of the volatility of the market, and the Bitcoin price will then be a lot more stable across the entire space because you have fees matching that. Why is this important now? Well, we kind of have a perfect storm of not only Bitcoin ETFs and the halving coming, but we also have ordinals, which have greatly impacted the amount of fees that miners are getting paid out in block rewards. And because the fees are being increased, the miners are not as dependent on the block reward as they were in the past. However, it is important to note that we aren't quite there of parity between fees and, of course, the block reward as a whole. So I still think we have 2 to 3 more cycles before we really see the Bitcoin price start to settle out and we break out into the macro and out of the traditional halving cycles. That's personally what I think. However, you never know with euphoria and ordinals, especially like we saw with NFTs on the Ethereum side of thing in the previous cycle, how much that will actually impact price. But if we're talking about moving into 2024 from the perspective of what will be the trends, what's going to impact price, and what should I be looking out for, well, you should be looking out for the popularity of ordinals and how much that brings up, of course, the fees in comparison to the block reward. You need to be paying attention to the Bitcoin ETFs, and you need to be paying attention to miners selling off before the halving so that they can, of course, pick up some more miners to then have more hash power so that they can make up for the halving loss there. So that is all the things that you should be paying attention to moving into 2024. Of course, I'd like to hear your thoughts about all this in the comment section. Now, you guys mined during the bear market, you made it through, well, at least maybe a half of you. I know a lot of you motherfuckers over here didn't actually do it, but the ones that did, I have a new shirt for you guys, and it says, I mined with the bears. For the bear market, okay? So if you mined with the bears and you want to rep that you did mine during the bear market, go ahead and head on over to shop.sonofatech.com and the listing will be down below. I'll put it in live chat right now. I have a sweatshirt, there's a sticker if you'd rather have a sticker, t-shirt, premium shirt, all that cool stuff. Really like the new shirt. I ordered a few for myself and I just had that design finished this week. Eventually it'll be on the YouTube channel, but that takes a little bit of time. So just give it some time. Proceeds, of course, go to supporting me in the channel. So there you go. And I thought we put some work into it and I thought you guys might enjoy it. Thanks for watching this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here, and don't forget to subscribe down here as well. You can also check out my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com, where you can get a free month of supporter status with a purchase at sonofatech.locals.com. Also, don't forget to check out my merch underneath the video or at shop.sonofatech.com. I'll see you next Tuesday.